Welcome back to the episode with Mystic Scales and Fairy
And Fairy
Tales
Tales
Podcast.
Podcast.
I'm one of your hosts, Jennifer,
And I'm your other host, Lee.
and we are a romance, fantasy, and dystopian podcast. If it's your first time, welcome. If it's not, welcome back.
Welcome back.
We do 2 long episodes a month that are an hour long and 2 mini episodes a month that are 30 minutes long. Today, you are lucky enough to be listening to a hour-long episode.
Yay!
So we have done some really fun things in our hour-long episodes, primarily reviewing books that we read in our book club on the app Fable. Our book club is the same name as our podcast, so you can just look up Fae Tales and you'll find us immediately. We have over 650 members, I think even more now, which we're so
Amazing.
thankful for every single day, and it's so much fun. So we read a book with them on the app, and then we come and review it here. We just finished up the Grishaverse for the last 8 or 9 months of our
Oh my
lives,
gosh, yes.
which was insane. And we are currently reading a dystopian book, which is going to lead into the episode of today. And after that, we plan to read the second book in the Night in the Moth series by Rachel Gillig. And then we're going to go from there, and we'll keep posting the schedule for everyone to see. But we eventually will pick a new long form fantasy as well to come on to take over the podcast again for months at a time, as we did with the Grishaverse by books by Lee Bardugo and that. Right now, our mini episodes are having a fun little time. You know, we did some more Allie Hazelwood for our Allie Hazelwood mini episode series. We'll probably do more of her in the future. We're going to do some, book chats, checking in on our next quarter that ended this year and what we read, and just really cute, funsy things like one-off books. So check out all those episodes from before, and make sure to follow us on Instagram and TikTok to see everything that comes after. But that's enough for our intro. So, as I mentioned, we are reading a dystopian YA book on our book club. Dystopia is a part of our name of this podcast for a very important reason, because it's a genre that Lee and I hold very dear to our hearts for many, many books. And our book club is taking forever actually to read one, which is insane because we were just focusing on so many different series. So very excited that this month in August 2026, we are reading a dystopian finally, and a YA dystopian, which is even more meaningful to me and Lee. We're going to be talking about that book down the line. It's called The Last Book Store on Earth. So today's episode, we wanted to take the next hour to kind of talk about the genre in general and do kind of a research or look into the different genres. I think this will be something fun that we can continue to do in the future with other genres and subgenres and tropes and all the things that exist out there. So today we have a very special guest named Suzanne Collins. No, I'm just kidding.
I was like, did you set something up that I don't know about?
Yes, they're in the waiting room. Rant them in. Hello, Suzanne. Suzanne Collins has come to join us to talk about the Hunger Games.
Oh my God.
No, I wish. So no, we're going to just deep dive into what the genre is, some famous books from it, our memories from that genre, and why it's important to us, and just discuss it overall and the importance of it. And I think in the future we could break down the rest of the ones that are in our name, fantasy and romance. And there's going to be a lot of overlap, romantasy, science fiction in general, speculative fiction in general. There's so many things that will coincide together. I think that's a beautiful thing. And then maybe in the future we'll start exploring genres we don't necessarily read as much. Hint, hint, horror, Lee. We don't read horror.
No. And
We're just
what was
scaredy
the one you
cats.
just finished? Was
I
that a
finished a
thriller?
thriller. Yeah, I love. That's my discovery of this year, is that I really love reading thrillers over horrors. They're so much fun to me. I read You Deserve to Know because this is not a good reason to read the book. Because Nina Dobrev was cast in the movie, and so was Paul Wesley, and so the two of them from Vampire Diaries will yet again be in this book adaptation. So I wanted to read it. They're not even going to be out for another probably 2 years because they just announced it, and she's still filming the other one now. So, but I read the book, and now I know what it's about and why they picked it up, and it was a pretty good book, I will say.
Did you think
and they're not playing love interests?
Oh, interesting. Did you think they were cast well?
Yeah, I think she was cast really well. I'm excited to see her character, and then his should be interesting. I think that he has a good thing with his, like, levels and things, so I think he'll be
Mhm.
able to do it. So I think
Okay.
they were cast pretty well. I'm actually more excited to see who they cast as the other people.
Interesting.
Um, so, yeah, that's gonna be pretty
And
cool
is
when that
that
comes out.
like a regular release or is that, streaming?
I have no idea, I don't know if they said it yet.
Oh, okay, cool.
The announcement was just that it got picked up and that these were people it cast, but I have to see who picked it up, so but it depends. Yeah, it's like hit or miss nowadays with all these things.
I know. I know. But that's why we're here, because we read it and we watch it and we review it.
You read it before you see it.
Exactly.
I feel like rarely, we do the opposite. I was just
Do
talking
the
to my friend about it,
reverse.
who does the reverse. Like, if she finds the TV show or movie interesting enough that she wants more of it, she'll read the book. And I'm like,
Mhm.
"That is such an interesting way to look at things." I feel like I can't do that. Like, I would rather know what I'm missing first than the opposite.
Yeah, that would be an interesting thing to go about. I'm sure there's, like, some that are better in reverse to get, like, the nuances, but
I'm sure we could think of a few that would be better in reverse,
yeah.
but I just never done that.
No, no. Some of it is just circumstance, like, I would say Project Hail Mary, like, I think we still wanna read it, but we didn't do it in time,
Yeah,
and so well, I haven't seen the movie yet, but you have, and I want to because it's on Amazon, I think.
so good.
So, yeah, just an
That's a
example.
great transition because that's a science fiction
Mhm.
title, um, all within the genre of speculative fiction, which is dystopians under that. So, dystopian.
There we go. I'm really curious on your thoughts for today's episode. So, forgive me if I turn your questions around fairly quickly and say, "What do you think?" Um,
Well, I sent Lee this really great article from studiobinder.com. I've never been on that website before in my life, so I hope it's not bad, but the article was from February 2025, so that felt pretty good.
good,
But it,
yeah.
like, went deep into, like, dystopian as a genre and, like, talking about the difference between dystopian and utopias and things like that, and I really loved so they described let me read you the quote. They described dystopian as common elements of dystopian fiction include societies engaged in forever wars and characterized by extreme social and economic class divide, mass poverty, environmental devastation, anarchy, and loss of individuality. There's always a social control being a major aspect of the genre, and like I mentioned, they are both under the speculative fiction because it speculates what might happen, similar to
Mhm,
science fiction. And
mm.
normally it's a commentary on current and social events, like I said, and despite being set in an alternate time or a different time. And they really honed on the differences between dystopian and utopias. Um, because sometimes a lot of utopian things you start to read actually end up being a dystopian in disguise.
Mhm.
Um, so, like, that was pretty interesting that they wanted you to make sure that you understood, like, what an utopia is, like, it's like a perfect society and things like that. Um,
Yeah, that's interesting. Okay, so what is, like, Red Rising?
oh, I think it's a dystopian science fiction. Let's see.
Yeah, I guess I would say that.
Oh my god, that's insane. I
What?
looked up and it literally came up as dystopian science fiction.
Oh,
Should I work in a library?
see, I told you guys, she knows her stuff.
Yeah, it's a dystopian science fiction. That 100% makes sense because it is a dystopian. But that's a great example of a utopian society that is
Right,
not actually a utopian society.
right. Um, especially because
Oh,
it's like that's the twist, right? It's, like, presented like that, and
mhm.
then sorry, spoiler.
Yeah.
Um,
That's like the book The Uglies and the movie The Uglies too. It's
oh,
presented as a utopian, but it's not.
I've
Um,
never read that.
I never read it, but I watched the movie. And of course, the biggest example of that is The Giver.
Mm. Which, shout out, that's in our current book. I don't know if you got to that part yet, but
We'll definitely mention The Giver for sure. Um There's a it was funny because like, this one was saying that, this article was saying that dystopians have been around since the ni late 19th century. But when I looked at another, like, uh, kinda like book club thing, whatever, it was, like, earlier than that. So, like, I think there's a real question, I think, on any genre in general of, like, when something started. Um,
Mm,
but it was so interesting. Well, the nice thing is that this article did too, so maybe we'll put it in the thing, was that they talked about dystopians in movies we watched too, you know, like, the uh, they mentioned Wall-E a lot, which was really great, which is a mix of the dystopian and utopian because of the utopian society in space,
mhm,
and The Day After Tomorrow, which I thought was a great example because that
mhm,
movie scarred me as a child. But some famous literature that you might know is Brave New World from
mm,
1932,
which is a great
uh,
one.
Fahrenheit 451, Lord of the Flies, um, which I thought was interesting. A Clockwork
Mhm.
Orange, V for Vendetta, The Handmaid's Tale, The Children of Men, The Road, and of course, The Hunger Games,
Hunger
which me and
Games.
Lee both have Hunger Games shirts on.
Hey,
um,
coincidence?
I think not. But obviously there are so many others than that, but those are some very famous ones. Um, that but also another movie was Pleasantville they mentioned, which I thought was
Oh, okay.
great.
Mhm.
And, there's another one I wanted to mention. Oh, Westworld.
Oh, okay.
That's the other
Yeah.
one. Westworld and, Black Mirror, obviously, for so many different
Mhm,
episodes. So,
mhm,
that's like an overview if you don't know the genre. I 100% agree with their definition of it, that's why I shared it. Like, I think that it always has a comment it's dystopian because it has a commentary on I love this idea that it's like it's speculating what could happen a different time, but it's a commentary of what could happen because of something that we don't fix right now. So if there's an issue
mhm,
that we are feeling right now, the author can take that and show a world that could happen if it's something that is never fixed. And this is what
mhm,
could happen to society. And there's a story within that. And I think that's
mhm,
beautiful to think about because you relate to these books and you're crying with them and you're like, oh my God, the story is so amazing. Da, da, da. But in the back of your head, you're like, "Wait, that feels so real." And it's like
mhm,
because it is. Like, they're not just coming up with
mhm,
these random problems. Like, no, like, we talk about that and all the time with Hunger Games. Like, there's so much of that, which we can take a whole moment to talk about the Hunger Games. But
mhm.
I think that's important for people to realize too, like, that's the power of science fiction, it's the power of fantasy, that's the power of dystopia, is that yes, you can say like, "Oh, they're escaping like, your escapism because you're talking about things that don't exist, they're magical or they're out of this
Right.
world, whatever," but it's like, it's all rooted in things that we
And
know
what could.
and what is
Yeah.
real and what could,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's probably why it's my favorite genre to read is dystopian. I don't know if I'll agree with that if the world ever does fall apart, but
I think,
at the
yeah,
moment it is.
I think that's again, we'll talk about it in the next episode, but I think that's like a reflection of the book that we're reading.
Mhm.
That one seems to be hitting a little close to home. Um, but I just wanna, like, piggyback in that, like, there's a lot of YA that's dystopian, and I think what's so interesting about that and what's so important about that is because, like, the younger audience are the people who are, like, thinking, and they can kind of recognize in the story that maybe this isn't so far off, or like maybe they are trying to like tell us like if we don't change X, or like if we keep going this way. And I just that's what I love about YA is that it is the younger generation like thinking, and that's the whole point is you're trying to like target that and to like emphasize that and like allow them to keep thinking. And I think, like, dystopian is such a great genre to, like, promote that and, like, fuel that. And I think that's why it was so popular in, like, what do we say, like, 2016 and
Yeah,
earlier.
2010s.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, it was, like, the food for our brains.
So why do you think as adults we tend to want to read the YA more than the adult then?
Um That's a great question. I think for
Hard.
me, it's a mix because, like, part of it is there's, like, hope in YA stories. There's always, like, this sense of, like, things will get better or, like, things will work out because you're a kid and they have to because 'cause you're gonna grow up and it's gonna be okay. Um, but, like, dystopian, I guess because it's also just, like, there's a level of fantasy that we can, like, use our imaginations, and I'm thinking, like, The Selection or, like, there was one called Matched where it was, like,
Oh, yeah.
it was about, like, furthering society, like, through, like, relationships, basically, and I
Mhm.
think there's, like, a I guess that's, like, the romance part of me that, like, enjoys that and enjoys, like, the girls who are the main characters and how they're growing and learning, especially with, like, the people around them, and I think also, like, you love, like, found family, and I
Mhm.
think there's a lot of that in dystopian because, like,
Yes.
you're
They have to.
forced. Yeah, yeah. So, but, like, what do you think?
I think
What
it's
draws you in?
hard because I feel bias as a certain age range because
Mm,
of all of us that did experience those 2010s
mhm.
dystopians, and they did their job, right? Like you're saying, like they were impactful for us as young adults. I mean, past 18, like 18 to 21, like young adults. And it inspired us, right, to wanna keep reading or to wanna keep talking about these things or to
Sure.
hyper focus on certain issues and things and to relate to this stuff and to feel sort of nostalgia, which is a weird way to describe it because then you're like, "Oh my god, I'm so nostalgic for this book where they're
About
all
destruction.
trapped inside a maze and they have to escape it, and then everyone around them is dead and then ends up" it's like, you know what I mean? Like, it's a weird thing to feel nostalgic for.
Mhm,
It's not like
mhm.
when you're like, "I'm nostalgic for Twilight." Like, it's
Right.
different. Um, but it's because of that inspiration that it gave us those drives because then we think of those characters and we think of the strength that they had and we are inspired by
Mhm,
that. So I think as
mhm.
adults, we can easily go back to that, and when we're looking for that, we can relate to it. Just like when you pick up your favorite childhood book, like, you're like, "Oh,
Yeah.
the memories that Winnie the Pooh brought me," or the one memories that reading A Wrinkle in Time brought me, or things like that. So it's
Mhm.
different. So then when you're an adult, I think it's also a lot harder for us at that generation because when I'm reading the adult dystopians, very good. Um, crying more gruesome, and
Yeah.
more impactful. And Red Rising is a great
Yeah.
example of that, but also
Yeah.
Blood Over Brighthaven. That book
Mm,
broke me, and it was so
mhm.
smart, and it should not have been a YA. It was great that it was adult, like, it was perfect in what it was written, but as an adult, you're already facing these things even more, so I think
Mhm.
reading the adult versions of it, you're like, "Oh my oh, wow,
Yeah.
okay, you're right." Um,
Yeah.
Not that they're bad, again, I like to read them, they're very good, and they keep us
Mhm.
intrigued, but I think there is this aspect of this young adult, and as an adult, believing in those young adults and being like, I think that when we read them, we're like, "Oh my god, this is so great," but then we also walk away with like, "Wow, what a great rewritten book. I hope this finds the age range, like, I hope there's an 18-year-old out there reading it, or I hope there's a 16-year-old reading this,"
Right.
and
Right.
feeling the impact of that. So I think as an adult, we're happy to be, like, kind of passing that baton in a
Mhm.
way and being like, "I hope
Mhm.
that you
I
also feel
agree.
inspired." And that's why, like,
Mhm.
YA in general is such a needed genre in general. Um
Mhm.
and I think the dystopian aspect of it is even more heavier. Um, so yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool, I will say, for
It
us.
is
I think
cool.
for our like for our certain
Yeah.
age levels, because I don't know how people feel that we're born after it or we're
Mhm.
before it,
Mhm.
because like
Yeah.
it was very, very impactful moment for us
Mhm. Mhm.
with
Yeah, and
dystopian.
I love that notion that it's like you're reading and it's like dual purpose. Like you're reading for yourself, but then you're also like thinking about like this future generation and you're like, "Oh my gosh, like I hope this finds the right person." I think that's like so special.
Yeah, yeah, it's special. That's a great word. I love that. So, speaking of these books that impacted us in the
Mhm.
2010s and early
Mhm.
years, like 2000 to 2010s and 2016 probably. Um, I feel like after 2016, it was no more. But,
It's yeah, it's kind of crazy because they definitely went downhill, and then they kind of like we had a resurgence recently, which I
Mhm.
find also just fascinating and kind of love it. But yeah, that was I think, like, 2010s was definitely the peak,
What are some that really impact us during that time? Obviously The Hunger Games, like, that's
obviously.
our first
Yeah,
episode ever. We talk about The Hunger Games every episode. It's amazing.
yeah.
Um, Maze Runner.
I've never read that or seen the movie.
Wait, okay, so I wrote that down for myself then. Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
I didn't realize that you'd never seen it or read it.
I know.
That was the example I gave earlier. No wonder you had no
Mhm.
idea what that is.
I mean, I gathered with your context clues,
Fuck,
but no,
I wouldn't have said the entire plot to you then.
it's
Um,
okay.
it's okay. That's not the entire thing. You should read them. They're very good.
I
And the
should.
movies are great. Honestly, Dylan O'Brien kills it.
I
And like he
mean,
hurt himself in those movies and he had to like stop acting for a while. So like watch the
oh,
movies.
dang. Okay,
Um,
okay.
very good movies. Highly recommend to people. And very good books, honestly. Divergent.
Mhm.
What was your relationship with Divergent?
I mean, I loved the books, but I think not all of the books. Like, I would say maybe the first 2 because I didn't like the ending.
Likes the ending.
Um, and, like, same with the movies, they just kind of, like, fell off. But
That's
definitely
so
the first
interesting.
one was very impactful, I think. Did you journey with them?
I think I read the first book and I didn't go on after that because I liked the movies a lot. Like I was like
Mhm.
so like, oh, these are so much fun. Like I think it was funny because it was in, it was Shailene Woodley's like era. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
she was popping off with Secret Life of American Teenager, and I watched that show, and then
Oh,
she
yeah.
was in The Fault in Our Stars, which
Mhm.
okay, at the same time that this was happening, this dystopian era, we also were all going through our John Green era, so we were not
Correct.
only, like, feeling impacted and, like, powerful from the dystopians, but then we, like, turned around and we were, like, sobbing our eyes out because of John
Right.
Green,
We're being
um,
emotionally
emotionally stabbed, but in the best way
yeah,
possible,
yeah.
um, love John Green. I already pre-ordered my next book by him. I'm gonna already be crying. Um, so, like, I was like, "Oh my gosh, Fault in Our Stars," and then it was funny, like, her being a Divergent, and then, like, what's his name? Ansel, whatever,
Oh,
the
yeah.
him also
Being
being
her
Divergent,
brother.
but being her brother, and I was like, "This is weird."
I
I
know,
was
I
like, "Whatever."
know.
So yeah, I think I enjoyed the movies, and I had a good time, but I think because of that, I tried to read the books, and I, like, wasn't into it, and then I had someone just, like, tell me what happens. I was like, "Please, just tell me what happens." I was like,
Yeah,
"That's stupid." But
yeah.
my question about that, though, are you gonna read Six Faction, the next book that comes out? She's redoing it.
Yeah, I don't think so. Are
Really?
you?
I thought about it. I thought about it.
Really?
Yeah, I thought about it because why not? Like, I
I
think
mean,
it's
I guess, yeah.
I like this idea that an author can go back on the work that they put out. Like, I think that's so iconic. Like,
Yeah.
it's just like admitting that, like, not everyone's perfect and not everything you write is perfect. And like,
Mhm.
you come up with better ideas. And that's why George R. Martin is afraid to continue. He's afraid that he won't, get the right idea. So
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
it's hard to end something. And so I really liked this concept that, so for people who don't know, she's not Victoria, Veronica.
Veronica? Mhm.
Veronica Roth. She is going to be doing, I think it's only a duology of two new books for Divergent, but it's an alternate universe. So if it's Trish got a different faction. So I think she's doing a new twist on the story and seeing where it can go. And I was like, that's so cool because you're doing it like you're not doing a prequel or anything like that. You're doing it a
Yeah.
parallel universe. Like how often do you see that?
I mean,
Um,
never. Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say I really liked her concept, and I liked the different, like, factions and everything, and I loved her, like, introduction into that. She taught me what the word candor means. So, um,
worth it.
but yeah, I don't know, maybe that could be, like, a filler book for our book club. I feel like
Maybe.
people would be interested enough. So, okay, I won't write it off.
I think that would be a cool book to explore. And then we can see if anybody in our group read the originals. And then I mean, you read
Mhm,
all the originals, so if you remember
mhm.
everything,
I'm
and then we could
sure I
like compare
don't.
and contrast.
Yeah, no, I'm sure there's gotta be some club that's doing it, so we can do it too.
Literally.
I'd
Good
be
idea for the
down.
future. So there was, Hunger Games, Divergent, Maze Runner. There was a selection, which you already mentioned.
Yeah, I
I
think
never read it, which is insane.
which is so funny because, like, I love the selection, but it's one of those that I'm a little afraid to go back on because I don't
Really?
want it to be ruined. Like, I don't want it to be bad, but it definitely has stayed with me, and I've talked about it on this podcast a lot. Um, so I like, in a way, yes, I would love for you to read it, but I'm just nervous.
I did buy it. Like, I own it on my shelf, and I've been dying to read it, and I know that it's inspired so many others, so that's why I'm like, "Ooh, that'd be
Mhm,
great."
mhm.
But
It really
yeah.
has, because there was another one I read that had a very similar cover, and I one of them I wanna say was called, like, The White Rose or something, but I didn't finish that series. I think I read maybe 2 or 3 books, and I just
Mm,
didn't. Um,
I'm looking for that
another
other.
another one that is, like, we've talked about, but is, like, a little later is the oh my god, Ember in the Ashes?
Oh, yeah. That one we haven't
Which
read yet.
yeah, I've only read the first one, and I really did enjoy it. I just never got to go back to it. So, like, if we ever did that, I would recommend.
Another one that also got a movie was The Host. Remember that one?
My god, I was obsessed with The Host.
What? Tell me more. Tell me more. Why? Why were you obsessed with The Host?
Okay, so obviously I read it because it was Stephanie Meyer, and, like, everyone was obsessed with Twilight, and,
Of
like,
course.
yes, I was obsessed with the Twilight books. So then The Host came out, and I read it, and I remember not, like, loving the movie. But in the book, I was obsessed with one of the guy who, like, falls in love with the, like, insect thing. I just, like, loved that story, that like, the tragedy of it all, and I don't know, there was something about the way that there were, like, 2 personalities in one body that just kind of
Mm,
fascinated me. I don't think it's actually very good. Like, if I went back, it's probably not.
that's what I was gonna
But
ask. Should we reread it? Reread it?
I do remember being obsessed with it, so
I love that. Oh my god. Then there was The Fifth Wave. That one I never got into, did you?
I don't think I did, no.
Yeah.
And then what's the is that's not the one that had Alex Pettyfer in the movies, is it? No, that one's like, I Am Number 4 or
I think that's the
something?
one I was gonna mention next, but I was like, is that was that that's not dystopian though. I think that's more of like science fiction fantasy.
Oh, is it? I never obviously, I
I
don't know it.
loved that movie.
Yeah.
I was talking to our friend Sam about that not that long ago, like, loved. I think it's because it came on, like cable TV, like, all the time,
Mhm,
and
mhm.
so I don't know why
Oh my gosh.
I love this so much. Anyway, yeah, I never read the books for I Am Number 4, but I don't know why. Love the movie, didn't continue, sucked.
I remember, like, they were always in Target. Like, whenever I would go to Target and go to the book section, like, that was always one that I was like, "Hmm, should I do this?" And I never picked it up. So
I will
maybe we should
ask,
add that too.
when they do the movie tie-in covers, does that intrigue you more or no?
I feel like no.
Mhm.
I don't think I'm swayed either way. Are you bothered?
I think in that time, I might have been. I might have been, like, during that time, been like, "Ooh, I love this movie, yeah," you know what I mean? As an
Mhm,
adult now,
mhm.
maybe not, but it
Yeah,
depends. I don't know, the Sunrise on the Reaping movie, the tie-in covers is freaking nice. Like, if I
and
just
you
saw
would
that
know.
poster I mean, the poster it's the
Mhm,
poster, like, I would if I just saw that
mhm.
poster and I like the Ballad of Songbirds and Snake one too. It's the poster as the cover.
Oh, yeah, like the gold?
Mhm, and, like, the snake and whatever. It's actually pretty nice. So, like, it depends, like, when they don't, I guess when they don't, because back in that time, like with 2010, like they were putting like the people, you know what I mean? Like it was like
Mhm,
the people
mhm.
dramatic. But
Right.
like weirdly enough, like I think they did it for Beautiful Creatures. I think they did the cover with like all of the actors, and I was like, "Ooh, I remember this movie. I loved it. I'll read the book." Never read the book. Um, so
That's the one where
it's Emmy Roslin, I think.
the the girl is magic
Yeah, like the
and the
family is.
guy. Yeah.
It
Yeah,
was
I
a good
saw that.
movie.
I
That
didn't
was
read it, but I saw it.
impactful.
Maybe I
That's
did read
fantasy.
it. Sorry, yeah, distracted. Um,
Next genre episode. Um, so those are some pretty important ones that we impacted us. And the one didn't I saved for last was I think that the I was going to ask you, what do you think the most impactful or the one that started it all for you was for this dystopian genre?
okay, let me really think about this because I wanna say Hunger Games, obviously, but is that true?
It's not true for me.
Because the truth is with Hunger Games, I wasn't going to read it, and my cousin described it to me, and she described it love her to death very poorly. Um, to the point where I was like, "Why the hell would anyone wanna read this? This sounds horrible." But then I read it, and obviously things changed. So I'm not sure what the, like, turning point
Mm.
was. What is yours?
The Giver.
Oh,
It was The
okay.
Giver. That book
Going
was
way back.
I know. The book was very impactful. I don't know if we read it in school or if I just like read it. I think probably read it in school. Um, and I think that was just so mind-boggling to me as a kid that like you're like reading this, it's like, oh, this sounds so cool and perfect. And then you have this one kid and he has
Mhm.
to take on this job. And he learns about all these things. You're just like, what happened or whatever. Um, so like that I think is what started it for me because it made me start questioning things. And I loved that.
Mm.
Makes you question
Mhm.
reality. So it was The Giver and then like the movie. But didn't Taylor Swift do the song for it? Wasn't that the thing?
I think she did,
Yeah, like it was a
yeah.
big deal. Um, before she did a song for the Hunger Games
Yeah,
too. Um,
of course.
so
Um,
I think it was The Giver. I think that was like,
wow.
impactful thing, and then it was The Hunger Games. And then and it was Hunger Games and Maze Runner because I did read Maze Runner, um, and then I watched the 100 TV show. Oh
Oh,
my
yeah.
god, the 100 TV
Loved that.
show. I have rewatched it as an adult, and it still holds up. It is such an amazing TV show, and, um, I work with the ghostwriter for that book, and
Oh.
I constantly wanna just be like, "Yo, that show changed my life." But I don't wanna, like, say that to
You're
them.
like, "Bring it back."
But I don't wanna, like, say that to them, obviously.
Yeah, yeah.
But, not ghostwriter, so that work for hire, author. But yeah, so that was pretty cool.
That's very
But,
cool.
oh my god, The 100 is such a good series. Like,
I know,
if
I've
audience, if you
heard.
haven't watched it have you not watched it?
No, because I think by the time it was out, it was canceled.
They did a lot of
S
seasons.
so it was like, "Oh."
No, they did a lot
But
of
yeah, I haven't
seasons.
watched it.
You should watch
I
it.
know, like, our friend Sam, she always says to watch it too. I should.
It holds up really well.
I need to get back on my TV show. We've talked about this.
Dystopian TV show specifically.
Just TV shows. I gotta finish the Game of Thrones spinoff. I gotta start Ted Lasso. I gotta watch The 100. Um, but yeah.
You'll enjoy the
So
100 though, it's very good. Until the end. The last 2 seasons kind of turn more sci-fi than dystopian, which is, like, weird for the
mm,
show, but the rest of it's good.
it's interesting, like, that happens on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. too. Like, they go sci-fi and, like, sort of dystopian, but also just kind of strange.
Yeah.
Um, I'm thinking about there's a short story, and I wish I knew what it might be called, like, The Hunt or something. It's, like it's pretty old, and it's, like, these people are essentially, like, invited to a party at this, like, rich man's mansion in the woods, and he's like, "We're gonna play a game," and you're all gonna go out into the woods and, like, hide, basically, and then he starts, like, hunting them, and I'm like, "Does that count?" Because that was, like, one of the ones where you, like, are questioning society.
Mm.
Um, and then another one is I think it's Shirley Jackson, The Lottery. Have you ever read that one? Where, like, every I think it's every year, they, like, gather the people in, like, town square, and, um, they're all given, like, rocks or something, and one of them has, like, a black dot, and whoever has the black dot gets stoned to death. And we read it in school, and my teacher, like, recreated it, so she passed out, like, paper, and someone had the black dot, and I had the black dot. So, that has always stuck with
What
me
did
as
they do
well.
to you? Throw paper at
I
you?
mean, nothing, like, there was no physical it was just like, "Oh, you would have been the one," just so you could, like, feel what the
That's
story was like.
insane. How did
I
the
know,
story
I
end?
know.
That's insane.
That's just what it's just supposed to be like a spooky tale, but also, like, in the vein kind of like Handmaid's Tale, you know? So,
That's a great transition. Let's
maybe
talk about The
that's
Handmaid's Tale.
Did you
When
read that?
I read the graphic novel,
Oh, okay.
very graphic, right on the side of graphic. Um,
Dang.
I loved the show. I absolutely love the show. Big show person. I haven't watched Testaments yet, but I will. I haven't read
I hear
Testaments
it's
yet.
good.
I heard it's good too. It got a lot of Emmy nominations. So
Mhm.
we have to watch it. But I love the show. So I think I was just like in Book Off or one of the stores, and they had like a discounted graphic novel version of it. And the book itself, like the actual Handmaid's Tale is not a long book. Like you could pick it up and read it
No.
in like a week. Like it's not a long book.
Mhm, mhm.
Um so I was just like, oh, I never read it. I'm watching the show. Like, let's do this. Graphic novel. Very well done graphic novel. And
Cool.
have you read it?
Yeah, I read it in college,
Okay. It's basically the first season of the show. Like the first season of the show, they stick to their guns with it, which is pretty awesome.
which is cool, yeah,
So I'm
yeah.
reading it, and then like the ending of it is pretty cool, and that's not what they do at the end of the show. Um, and I kind of wish they did, but like they couldn't have it. It got too big. But
Right.
yeah, that was a pretty cool one. But that's a hard one because that is one that we constantly feel is so relevant
Mhm,
every single
mhm,
day of our lives.
mhm.
And I think that the show
Yeah,
gave a great anchor for that. Um,
yeah.
and it just yeah, you watched the whole show, right?
No, actually, I think I only watched the 1st season.
Wow, you never watched the rest of
Um,
it? That's crazy. It's so good.
no.
Is it too
Though
hard?
that's one of those yeah, that's one of those shows that it's so good and so, like, rooted in all the issues that it's, like, freaky,
Mhm.
and I just remember being uncomfortable. So I was like, "I don't" but I like to, like, know what happened, so I've, like, read up on it or had people, like, tell me, so, um, I'm sure I don't remember everything, but I think they did a good job from what I saw.
They did. They did a great job. But yeah, it's very rooted in reproductive rights. It's very rooted in women's rights. It's very rooted in like this fascism and bigotry and like believing in one ideal and climate change. They also mentioned climate change in it. And so that's hard enough on its own. Um so
Yeah.
yeah, especially with like the rise and fall of so many different political regimes in the last couple of years and just that while watching the show, you're like, yeah, this is a lot.
Yeah.
But
Um,
impactful. And it's crazy that that's like one of the like on the list of like one of the most banned books on top of that.
oh my
And the
gosh,
fact that it's a
yeah.
banned book is insane. Like it should for
Mhm,
banned books in general, it's just a dumb concept.
mhm.
People should not be banning literature. But The Handmaid's Tale being one of those is it's really sad.
It's yeah, very
A few of
interesting.
these are too,
Sh sh
actually.
yeah. Margaret Atwood has another book that I read, I wanna say fairly recently,
He just came out with one.
that was interesting. Well, it was probably, like fairly recently, it was probably, like, 8 years ago.
I think she's coming out
Um,
with another one, actually.
well, it was Oryx and Crake.
What was that book about?
Oh my gosh, let me refresh my memory. Post-apocalyptic,
Does she always write like that? I guess so.
guess. I don't think I could, like, tell you much, but, like, it's about genetic engineering, and I can, like what I remember is basically, like, the visuals of, like, they're in, like, a greenhouse or something a lot, but she's a very good writer. That came out this is so crazy, that came out in 2003, but I didn't read it in 2003, obviously, I was
I read
a
a book by her
child.
fairly recently, 10 years ago.
That's when I read the book. I think I was on
Fairly
a kick.
recently.
Oh my
Okay,
gosh.
now I know never to trust your fairly recently as in the last
Well,
couple years.
I was gonna ask you if this might be a transition. Are there any that you feel are bad dystopians or they do, like, a bad job?
Not that I've
Like,
read
you
so
would not
far.
recommend them? No?
No, I've read really good ones. I
Like, I
read
don't even know if I have an answer to this, but
yeah, you know what? A good one I've read in the last couple of years, it was YA, it was Best of All Worlds, by Kenneth Opel.
oh,
That was really good. Um, I guess that one was kind of more sci-fi. It's like they get picked up, like it's like the main character and their family was like a cabin, and then like they wake up and like their cabin has like moved in a way, and then like they're stuck in something that they can't get out of, like kind of like a bubble. It's like really really interesting. But I guess that's less dystopian, more end of world scenario kind of. So kind of both. But um another one I read that was YA was The Kill Factor. I don't remember who the author of that
oh
was.
my god, yeah, you gave that to me.
It was really
I still
good.
have to read it,
That one
yeah.
was
Is that a series or a standalone?
no, and I wish it was because like it was so good. That one is like the main
Oh,
characters,
gotta read
they're
that.
like based off of a lot of the like the world is based off of like your social media and your credits and things similar to like I think they did that Black Mirror.
Mhm.
And they take a bunch of people who I don't think they're juvenile delinquents. I think they're just like a chance to fight to, you know, get famous and like be in a reality show and like let them know like you
Mm.
die in it. Um
Okay.
Really
Yeah.
interesting, like, really, really interesting, twist on that. And then, of course, the one that me and you have not finished yet was Mortal Coil, um,
Oh, yeah.
which I loved, and I'm offended by myself. I'm very mad at myself
For not
for
finishing.
not finishing it, and wanting to,
Yeah.
you know the one I think that we struggled with, actually, was Scythe.
I was just
That's
thinking
the one
that,
that we
yeah.
haven't actually, which is like I feel bad because like I really wanna like it because like even
Mhm.
I think there was like a newer book too of it, like it's a big series and
Mhm.
people have read it,
Mhm.
and I love the concept of it. And then for
Mhm.
people that don't know, like the
Same.
concept is like like we figured out how to live forever, we figured out how to cure things, we figured out basically everything I can figure out, but they have to keep a balance in the world of, like, people just can't, like, keep living forever, so they have people that go
Right.
around and, like, they randomly choose, like, when you're gonna die, just like how it used to be when people would, you know, just, you know, randomly die, but because they figured out how to avoid death, that doesn't happen anymore. Amazing concept, like, really cool
Yeah.
concept, and I love the idea
Yeah.
of it, but I don't know why I couldn't get past the first couple chapters. I just got stuck with
No.
it. Um so I think
Mhm.
that's one I
Yeah.
probably would wanna give another chance to, but that's probably the one I struggled with the most was Scythe. Um, I
Yeah,
don't
I would
know if I
agree.
think I'd have to reread Maze Runner to see if it really holds up. So, like, that's one I'm probably scared to reread as an adult. Like,
Mhm.
I think it does because and then there's some
I think
prequels
that's
I haven't
okay.
read yet, which I think if I
Yeah.
read the prequels, like, whatever, but, like, that's the only one I'm always like, "Oh, I hope this holds
Yeah.
up to what it was."
I'm looking at a list if there's anything else.
I mean, the adult one that I love and will always suggest people is the one I made you read, which is Blood Over Brighthaven. Like I mentioned earlier in this
Mhm.
episode, it's one of my favorite, like, dystopians I've read in a very long time. It had me crying, it had me twisted, like, so many I like, even when Lee was reading it, I thought she got to a twist, and it was just, like, a different twist,
I
like,
was
that
not yeah, that
like,
was funny.
that is oh my god, that's one of the I think even when I've gone to buy the book for people, like, the book but, like, the people at the register are like, "Oh my god, this book is so good." I'm like, "Girl, I know this book
Oh.
is so good, I'm buying it for somebody else." Like, I need everyone to read it. Um,
That one was very good, and I loved that that one was standalone,
yes.
that they got everything, like, in that one, just, like, 400 pages or whatever it is.
I've been finding
It
that to
was
be more
great.
impactful with dystopians when they are the
Mm,
one book, and then maybe that's why I never
mhm.
finished my Mortal Coil, because like, not that it ended, but,
Yeah.
like, you get so much of that one book, and, like, a lot of these other ones I mentioned to you that were the YA ones are standalones, and we're reading a standalone right now, and I
Mhm.
think for me, like, yeah, like, it does feel more, like, achievable as a story, I guess, to say, not that a series isn't, but, like, then the series becomes, like, that's the hero, and they have to solve the whole world, and that feels less
Right.
grounded in reality, I think, so to speak, for
Yeah.
us reading it,
Mhm.
so I think it is more
Mhm.
impressive when they can do an entire dystopian in one book.
Yeah. And it's funny because I think, like, I read this Mortal Coil when it first came out, so I didn't really know that there were more or
Mm,
that there were going to be more. So then when you were reading it and you're like, "Oh, there's, like, 2 more," I was like, "Dang it." I thought it was good, like, good enough. But then again, like, that doesn't mean we don't want to read it. It's just we haven't made it there yet.
yeah.
So,
What are some famous ones you haven't read yet?
I haven't read Clockwork
Me
Orange.
either.
I haven't read Animal Farm. Does that count? Was
Oh,
that one of them?
I don't know, I have to look it up, but I know that book, yeah, I haven't read that either.
Um,
It's funny, like we mentioned at the beginning, like, a lot of these overlap, like, they're science fiction or they're aspect of dystopian, but they're not fully
mhm.
dystopian, like, it depends on the book.
Yeah.
Um, I haven't read,
Um,
1984, which is crazy. I haven't read that.
I think I did. I definitely did Fahrenheit 451, and I think those sometimes get confused in my head. Maybe just because they have numbers, that's stupid, but,
Wait, maybe I'm
um
talking about the right thing, hold on. Yes! Oh, no, they're 2 different books, you're right, I get confused. I haven't read either of them. I haven't read
mm,
1984 or Fahrenheit
I definitely read Fahrenheit. I think I've read The
451.
Road. I haven't read Lord of the Flies. We didn't have to read that in school.
Oh, I did. It's so interesting to me that
So,
that's classified as dystopian.
what would you say it is?
I think it's just more of a survival story.
Mm,
But I know
I mean
but it is, aspect of because, like, I don't know, like, I think we read, like, Lord of the Flies and we read, like, Hatchet. You know what I mean? Like, those are in
mhm,
those veins of that, and there's a lot of books like that
mhm.
to this day.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but I guess it is a dystopian in the aspect of, like, a society that could happen depending, because like, the kids kind of do create their own, like, hierarchy of the
Mhm,
society in the
mhm.
end. Have you watched the Netflix adaptation yet?
No.
Yeah, there's on my list. I wanna do it before the year ends, but it looks amazing.
Oh, it actually does look good. I've seen previews. It looks intense,
I'm surprised you didn't
but
have to read that,
it's
though. We
supposed
did.
to. I know, like, I think my brother did, but my I had some interesting, English teachers.
Sounds like it when they make you do a lottery of everyone trying to get a different thing to see which student in the class is gonna be stoned to death. Yeah, it sounds like you had some very interesting teachers.
Yeah, and that was in, like, 7th or 8th grade.
I would say, yeah, you got some pretty interesting teachers.
Then
Mm,
I think in 9th grade, we were supposed to read A Tale of Two Cities,
ugh,
which is Charles Dickens, and it's a big book, and, like, for a 14-year-old to read that? Are you kidding? 14-year-old boys to read that? That was not happening. I really think our teacher abandoned that
teaching.
lesson plan.
Oh my gosh.
Um,
Yeah, there's a few that I haven't read. There's the Parable of the Sower? I'm saying that so wrong. I haven't read that one
Probably
yet.
sower. We had to do I did Never Let Me Go in college
I haven't. I
'cause
bought it recently, though.
there's a movie
Is it
too.
really?
That was good. Mhm.
Oh, I should watch the movie after I read it.
Mhm.
That's a one book, I think, too. A lot of these are.
Yeah.
See? One books. It can be very powerful. And I'm sorry, you said you read Handmaid's Tale.
Yes.
Did you read Testaments?
No. I had no idea that they were linked until,
Oh,
um,
really?
one of our friends was like, "You have to watch this show." And then I, like, looked it up and I was like, "Oh, this sounds really depressing."
Yeah, it's her daughter. Yeah.
Have you read Ready Player One? I've seen the
I've seen
movie.
the movie. I have not read the book.
I have not read it. That might be a good one.
That'd be a good one to go back on.
Yeah. Also haven't done V for Vendetta.
Mhm. I think I am
Um,
very bad at reading classic literature as well. I think once I
it's hard.
left a, uh,
Yeah,
school facility that made me do it, I have not gone back to then read some of them that my school did not
it's
read.
hard.
So, I think that's something that we should start slowly incorporating into our everyday reads is classic literature.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
or just I think in general, I have a hard time reading things that are just fiction. Like,
No, I think that's
that are
fair, and
not
I think
in
part of
our
it,
things.
like, unfortunate, it's like we consume books differently nowadays, you know? And, like, especially, like, you and I, like, we love audiobooks, and I don't know if I I don't think I've tried a classic on audio, but I'm not sure it has the same impact.
Mm. I
Um
tried, The Hobbit. I ended that immediately.
Oh. Too much singing?
Um, it was just very boring, like, so boring. I was, like, falling asleep. Um,
We'll get
yeah.
you to just watching the movies, it's okay.
I think I would read the book
That's
eventually,
okay.
but I don't think it's a book I'd read that. But, yeah, I don't think I've listened to a classic as well. Would have to try it. Take a little adventure and see. Um,
Yeah.
'Cause it might be great. They have the all cast Pride and Prejudice, I think.
Oh, that would be a good one.
Yeah, I think they did Pride and Prejudice. I'm pretty sure that's what there was one of Jane Austen's. I think it was Pride and Prejudice.
Okay. Yeah.
We could try something like that. But I think the only
Mhm.
aspect I miss about like being able to discuss these classical literatures, these dystopian, is like being able to break it down and talk about it in a
Mhm.
bigger forum
Mhm.
of things. Like
Mhm.
we do that here, which is great. It's just us too. But like it's great when you have like a whole class of people and like someone
Yeah.
also facilitating the conversation because they'll
Mhm. I agree.
push you to ask those questions that you don't think of.
Mhm.
So there's
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. We'd have to find some kinda study guide online or something. I wouldn't be
Not the
opposed.
study guide. I love
The
it.
nerd in me. Yeah. Yeah.
I think let's wrap
Um
up this dystopian genre discussion with the one that we've been talking about the most, which is the Hunger Games. Um, Obviously one of the most popular ones that's still known to this day, has a new movie coming out this fall, had a new book in the
Mhm.
last 2 years. Um, Insane nostalgia for us, a brand. I think the most interesting thing is it's a brand, right? It's a license. Like, this is a huge conglomerate in a way of, like, Star Wars, Star Trek, The
Yeah.
Hunger
Yeah.
Games, Harry Potter, like, this is a
Mhm.
well-known series,
Mhm.
but it, like, still holds up its power and its meaning
Mhm.
because that could be easily
Mhm.
lost when things are franchised,
Mhm.
you know? And I think
Mhm.
it's very impressive how the integrity of the series has stayed for so long, and I think that's in part to the publisher, in part to Suzanne, and in part to Lionsgate and protecting it in that way. Some
Yeah.
aspects, because there is a amusement park in, like, Dubai or one of those places
Oh,
and I think
yeah.
that that's
That's
weird that they, like, Lionsgate let that
yeah.
happen. Like, there's some things that you're just like, you're taking we talk about this constantly of, like, you don't wanna become the capital audience
The
as the
capital.
audience.
Right.
So that
Right.
felt like
Right.
that. But then we have the things like the play that are very impactful. And so I just think it's really impressive, and I salute that brand, and it's why it's our favorite. It's why you have tattoos. It's why I'm getting tattoos. It's why your cat's named PETA.
Mhm.
Like, it's something that
Mhm.
stuck with us for so long. Um,
Mhm.
so I think that if you take anything from this episode, it's read The Hunger Games.
Any episode, it's read The Hunger Games.
It's Hunger Games. What do you think it is
Um,
about that series, though, that stood out more to us than, say, The Giver or Divergent or The Maze Runner or any of those?
I think I think one of the things is, like, because it's so focused on, like, North America, so I feel like already it was, like, rooted in, like, this is our world, um, and, like, in a way, like, there's always the, like, "What district are you in?" Like, that's kind of cheesy and weird, but, like, if you think about it, it it's like, well, okay, what does that mean for, like, the future? Like I think about, like, when the oceans, like, take over Florida or, like, take over California, and, like, because if you, like, look at the map that's been drawn, it's not the North America that we know. So I think that's very interesting. Um, and I think I've always just been fascinated with the idea of, like, regression and how, like, Katniss's district is so, like, bare bones when, like, in our world, like, technology is advancing every single day, and, like, how do you get from that to, they're dying in the coal mines, Haymitch is sewing, like, potato sacks together. Um,
Mhm.
so I don't know,
And they're
like,
mentioning
it's
AI too in the latest book too.
yeah, yeah, and I just think, like, there's so much in these books that, like, you have to be a smart reader to really understand and have it be impactful. And not to say that, like, no one can read it, like, everyone should read it and be able to read it, but I just think it makes more of an impact when you, like, understand the nuances and the subtleties that, like, Suzanne is painting, like, about AI or whatever.
I think for me, it's also Katniss. I think that her character is so different from all the ones that we mentioned with the other books. She is a reluctant hero, and that's something I
Mhm.
think we all related to because it's like you read these books and
Mhm.
you're like, "Oh my gosh, this is crazy," whatever, but you're like, "I don't know if I could step up and do that." Like, who said that you would be the hero of the story where she doesn't wanna be the hero ever, the entire time? There's nothing about this that she wants to do, and she just wants to save her sister, and it's very simple in that, and you can relate to that, and you latch on to that, and the fact that we were inside her head the entire time is what made it even more impactful because of that. I think if it was third person, it would have been a totally different story for us. Um, I just think that it was just her. It was her relation to this the world that she's in, her relationship with the people she's with and loved, and her reluctancy to step up in a time when things are going really bad, and she had to be that voice when she didn't want to be. That's so relatable, especially as you're living in this crazy world around you. It's like
Mhm.
someone has to step up, and you're just like, "Well, I don't know if I could be that person, but anyone can try." And we learned that it's not just Katniss, it's all of them. They all impact it in their own way, and they all help to take down this regime, and she finds her own courage within that, and she also loses things within that, and it's just very real because of that and raw. And so I think that's what makes it so impactful more to us as readers and why we've latched onto it for all these years. So we all feel like we're all a little bit like Katniss.
For sure. And I think, like, one of the things I've always loved is in Mockingjay when she, like, has her mental breakdown and she's just hiding in the closet. And, like, we never read that anywhere else.
Mhm.
And I feel like that is so important that we got to see that. And I think with, like, Ballad, we got to see, like, a sociopath, like, Snow is not a normal person.
Mhm.
And I love that Suzanne has represented these different, like, personalities and mentalities, and, um, I just think she really, like, does capture that characterization, like you're saying, in a way that's totally different than anyone else has, and we love it.
And we love it. Well, that's a great ending to this episode. So thank you for coming on this ride of dystopian and exploration of the genre with us. there's obviously always more to say for these and more books that we didn't even mention, and the experiences that we had. And we'll mention more that we're going to read eventually, they'll come up. And so make sure to stay tuned for our next full-length episode where we will be talking about The Last Bookshop, a dystopian YA book we're reading right now. Join us on the Fable app
Mhm.
to also read along with us for it. Um, and then we'll dive deep even more into the genre with that book and many more books. Like we said, we read a lot of them outside of the book club. So if you have any recs for
I do.
us, let us know on Instagram and TikTok. And we didn't even explore the newer genre, the dystopian romantasy genre that you started reading into.
Oh.
That's something we'll table for
Mhm.
another day because that's not
That's a whole different
not expected a new genre that's emerging that
Mhm.
I think is
Mhm.
odd, but we'll talk about it another time.
Mhm.
Make sure to follow us on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube, Fairy Tale Podcast, and like we said, on the book club on the app Babel. We hope that you feel inspired to go read a dystopian book, or maybe you already do and you love them. So, like we said, let us know what you're reading, give us some recs, and we hope that you're reading a great book that makes you question everything about the world and makes you a strong, impactful human. You got this. Let's step up and change the world. And happy reading.
Happy reading.